everybody. How you doing today? Great, I hope. Well, right now I'm, preparing the soup for the chili, and I have some time to kill, so I thought I'd make a little video. Uh, the topic is romance scammers. Have any of you heard of that or had it happen to you? This is kind of a warning, red flag type of video. And it's something that happened to me, but I was too on the ball to get caught in the net, in the web of lies and deceit and fraud. Okay, what happened is I just had joined like Blue Skies, and I, being not a non-joiner, I really hadn't done, media and all that. I was briefly on Twitter at one time, and I didn't like it, and it just wasn't my thing. And but I got on Blue Skies, and because I like music, most of the time I just post music videos, and a few uh, constitutional type information videos, and just to put information out there, and a little levity, of calming, nice music to listen to. I don't know if anybody ever watches or not, it just doesn't matter. Anyway, they have this area where people can signal you to chat with them, and I there was like one girl, but she was trying to advertise her product that she had for sale, and so and then there was like a few guys, and just to be friendly, I just said hi back, and nice to see you here, that kind of thing. And you can follow them, just follow people. And so this one guy, was trying to approach me, and he started getting weird. And then I called him in outright, lie right in the beginning, and I'm like, what a jerk. So, I blocked him. And then there was this other guy who, started out being friendly, hi. And I was just being friendly, and, if somebody became a friend, fine. And if not, fine, So, anyway, we started chatting, and then he got, I told him, I wasn't looking for, romance or anything like that, just, friendship. And so then he tried to get me to go on this other app. I forget the name of it. It was one I never had heard of, uh, to chat, privately chat. And so I took a look at it, and I said, nah, I don't think so. And and then he mentioned Google Chat. So, I checked that out. And I said, well, okay, well, we can have conversations. And so he said he was out of the country working. And I thought, well, he's not even in the country, maybe it'd be okay just to chat with somebody who's, working out of the country and maybe lonesome, and just want somebody to talk to. So we started chatting, and then within a week, all of a sudden he started turning romantic, you know, saying, how much he liked me and cared about me and wanted to meet me someday. And I just came back with, well, that isn't going to happen. No, you're not coming to visit, no. I'm not interested in that, Uh, you know, and I was like, he said he was 60, and at the time I was 72, and I said, no, I'm way older than you, and I'm not interested. That's not, you know, not gonna happen. And he kept persisting, and I was like, whoa, this kind of weird. So anyway, he said he was working on an oil rig off the coast of, I think it was off the coast of Turkey. And so anyway, I went on YouTube and I brought up some videos, just see, what people, do on those oil rigs and stuff like that. And so anyway, I came across these other videos, and I came across an article that talked about the red flags of these uh, uh, romance scammers. What they do is they get their hooks into a lonely woman, and especially, and they don't care whether you got money or not, because to them, if you're American, you're rich. I tried to tell him, I said, no, one time I said, no, I'm poor, He said, no, you can't be poor. I said, well, yeah. So anyway, well, not poor, but not wealthy. I mean, I don't have a spare dime to give somebody like that. So anyway, uh, I saw this article, and he had every red flag. I mean, even the things that he said, in the chat, and I'm like, are you kidding me? This guy is a romance scammer. So I don't know. I mean, only like 6 or 7, 8 days at the most had passed since we first, had started, chatting. And I'm like, oh God, I know what he is. I know what he's doing, and he's saying everything exactly what other women are saying that these guys that scammed them, had told them. And and even the thing about working on an oil rig, that was another thing that they would, claim, uh, or that they were in the military service, or maybe working construction out of the company in another country and stuff. And then what they do is, once they get the lady hooked, and then something tragic happens to them, and suddenly they need a lot of money. They need this money. They need you to send them some money, to help them, like, whatever the reason that they use. And it's all made up stories. Okay, so after I read this and everything, he signaled me, in chat. And I knew what was going on. And I said, I don't think we need to, be chatting anymore. I said, you're coming from a wrong place, and I don't even believe you. I don't even trust you. And I said, you just need to, drop this, and because I know you're a scammer. And And then he, just really panicked and started, throwing, oh, what's the matter? What did I do? I love you, and da 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 da, all this bull crap. And I said, okay then. I said, here in Google Chat, we can click on, you know, video, and we can talk face to face. How about that? Oh no, I can't do that. We're not allowed, and this and that. And he come up with all these excuses and stuff, and I said, yeah, right. I said, you either get on video within an hour, or you go jump in a lake. And of course he wouldn't or couldn't, because he was some dude from I mean, in most cases it's some dude in or it could be anybody, it could be a female, you don't know who you're talking to, and in South Africa somewhere. I forget the name of the place, but there was a certain place where it was really prevalent. And so anyway, I'm like, man, I don't believe this. And at first it started out, we did some like chatting on Skype, and I asked him about doing video and face to face, and he told me then they weren't allowed, they couldn't do it, and their internet connection was not very good, and this, that, and the other. He had all these excuses, and so anyway, I had to block him, in the chat room, because he kept sending messages and stuff. And of course, he had my email address, because that's how you connected in chat. So then he started sending me emails, and I had to block that, send it to spam. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, because this happens to men too, uh, don't fall for it. These people don't know you, and when they fall in love, like, I love you, I want to come see you, we're going to meet someday, and blah, 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 and all this bull crap, and, which, I was like, well, see, I wasn't vulnerable enough, or eager enough, to have a man in my life, and to have somebody that I don't know, who said he was originally from California, uh, that was gonna come to my state, to my home, and knock on my door. I don't think so. I wasn't open for that kind of thing. So it was a trap. like the like the guy said in Star Wars. It's a trap. So anyway, just be aware that you know, or it could be somebody local, somebody you meet, who's needy, and wanting a girlfriend or something, and maybe wanting to move in with you, or have you support them or something like that. Because I had an aunt, or I have an aunt, and she kind of fell for that kind of thing. She ended up marrying him, and I mean, he just used her totally. And I think deep down inside she knew it, but she didn't care. And she was like, oh, 25 years older than him. I was 12 years older than him, and she's 12 years older than me. So, yeah, it's around 24, 25 years older than him. And she was desperate. I mean, she didn't want to be alone. And this was a guy who was um, willing to help take her money. I mean, her husband had died, and she got money from that. And then she had her own home; it was paid for. So after they got together, then she ended up, selling her house. She'd bought him a car. She was just. I mean, I just shook my head and I said, "Don't you see what's going on?" And then one time she came over. Well, I think he's running around. I think he's got a girlfriend. I'm going to follow him, or I'm going to hire somebody to follow him, and this, that, and the other. And I mean, it was a drama city, drama all the time. It was weekly, and anyway. Ladies beware, sometimes you're better off where you are, instead of, trying to make some kind of high in the sky drastic change that, might send you from the, uh, what is that, from the kettle into the frying pan or something like that. So, yeah, that's my phone. Okay, I'm back. That was a call from my supplemental healthcare provider, and who wanted to uh, see about scheduling up an eye appointment, and then I told her about the other stuff going on, and I wasn't due to go get my eyes checked. She said, well, it's a diabetic retina test and eye test, and I said, I don't have diabetes. And she said, you don't? She said, aren't you pre-diabetic? And I said, well, I used to be. I'm not anymore. And I told her about losing the weight and stuff, and we got into this long conversation. So she's diabetic, and so anyway, I recommended some videos for her to watch, doctors and stuff on YouTube, and so she's going to check that out. And so anyway, it was, yeah, she's thinking about, doing my diet. So anyway, oh, check it out. I restyled it. I got it, styled a little different than I had it, on the first video when I was doing the debut on this uh, new wig, and I like it. What you think? Yeah, yeah. I just took the brush and, first time I put it on, I kind of, didn't know what to do with it. Now I thought, well, I'm going to try something else. So anyway, okay. I don't know how many minutes we got on this. Probably enough. I already talked about the topic I wanted to talk about, and then some. So I think it's time to check on the soup. And so I'll be back when things are ready to go. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm back. I just have maybe I want to interject a few more things on this video about the romance scammers. And right now it's a quarter after 5 a.m. I had a good nap. Got in around 5 hours, so feeling better. And and right now I'm wearing. I'm gonna be calling this one Wild Child. Yeah. I mean, if I don't wear it, I'm not going to get used to it. And I want to get used to it because it's not that bad. It's just different, you know. Really white. uh, yeah, platinum blonde. And then the picture, I mean, I thought, in my mind, I thought it was, like it more of a platinum gray. Uh, but like I said, I had an aunt that had, hair this color, and it was real thick, and she usually wore it, short. But anyway, okay. The another point I want to make about these scammers are that to a lot of ladies out there, they can be very, convincing. And I'm gonna I'm gonna look up on YouTube one of those videos that talks about it, and these people would be contacted, and they were kind of like investigators of these uh, scammer types, and and what happens to a lot of these people who get hooked in and pulled in. I mean, they can even become mules. I mean, like they don't have a lot of money they give. I mean, some of them just go broke. I mean, they spend their life savings and everything. Uh, the and they usually pick on seniors, you know, and male and female. I mean, and um, they're just con artists, and uh, they have no conscience whatsoever. And some of them, they even talk them into being like mules, somewhat picking up money and transferring money from uh, a, some bank account, and then taking that and delivering it to somebody else, and then it gets changed over into these crypto uh, fake coins stuff. Uh, I don't know. It's crazy, and it's complicated. Some of the I hate when this gets crooked. Everything's got to be symmetrical to me, you know. Sometimes my eyebrows don't match, and that bugs me. But anyway, uh, they it's a problem, and and you never know how you're going to come across this. It's it starts out being can start out being innocent and everything, and then it takes a twist and goes sideways. And I mean, some people get just destroyed them financially, emotionally, you know, just turn their world upside down, and it's pitiful. And uh, so I hope this reaches somebody who, you know, might come in contact with somebody like this in the future, or who's maybe involved now, in it. And I hope they, take a look at it. Oh, and I'm gonna link the, that article that, I had come across. Um, Even though I was resistant, right away, that didn't stop him, from trying to, turn my head around and, convince me that, we's gonna be together forever. Not, no way. I'm happy living by myself. I don't do well with roommates. I just don't. Don't ask me why. Because I just like the way it is. And I'm happy that way. you know, I like doing what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and not have to, try to please somebody else, you know. Uh, and I've been this way for like a long time, and I guess that's what you get used to, and that's what I'm used to, and I like it. Those roommates, uh, they would have a tendency just to get on my last nerve and drive me up a wall. It just the way it was. And but anyway, I'm gonna stick this on to the end of the video, and I hope it informs someone, educates someone, and saves a life. So y'all take care. Hope to see you real soon. And I'm working on this video right now. I'm gonna add this to it and get it uploaded tonight. And then I'm gonna take out the trash. And I got some empty boxes and trash to take out. So maybe I'll wait till daylight. I don't know. Sometimes I'll do it in the dark. Well, there's plenty of lighting out there, so that's no big problem. Okay, take care. Love you. Hugs. Be good. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hey, this is another add-on amendment. Just a quickie. I forgot to report that I weighed in this morning when I got up, and I lost another pound. Yeah. Down to 167.3. Yep. So, I've been doing a lot of OMADs lately because, well, I just happened. I wasn't really trying. But I don't think I'm going to be doing the OMAD today because I'm already starting to get a little hungry. And one of those avocados is ripe enough. And so I think I'm going to do, some scrambled eggs and avocado and some bacon. Yeah. When I get good and hungry. Probably in a couple more hours. So, alright. See you later. Bye-bye. Subscribe and like. Thank you. Thanks for watching.